The Great Escape, a masterclass in chaos and cunning. There was this prisoner, an odd one. Every single day, he chugged down 5 pounds of water, yet not once did he go to the bathroom. Not even a single bathroom break. Even if he leaked a couple of drops, he would grit his teeth and hold it in. Finally, the moment he had been waiting for arrived. The prison cafeteria served soybeans for lunch, and that was his cue. He stuffed the entire plate of beans into his mouth in one go. Then, right as the warden began his inspection round, he vomited it all back up, violently and intentionally. The sight and the smell made the warden gag. Horrified and disgusted, he immediately ordered the guards to drag the man to the infirmary. But even there, the white-haired inmate wasn't done causing chaos. He kept yelling that he needed to use the toilet, urgently. The poor nurse, afraid he'd wet the hospital bed, had no choice but to send someone to escort him to the restroom. What she didn't know was, the escort was actually his accomplice. As soon as the two were alone, they snapped into action. The one-armed man stood watch, blocking the door, while Whitehair pulled out a hidden tool set. With practiced ease, he popped open the metal hatch embedded in the wall. Behind it, a secret tunnel leading deep into the unknown. Before they disappeared into the darkness, Whitehair carefully reattached the wall panel, leaving no trace behind. Meanwhile, back in the main prison, a bald inmate spotted the time. Showtime. He suddenly signaled to a bearded prisoner, who suddenly grabbed a fellow inmate, a black guy, and started hurling insults at him. The guy didn't take it lightly. With fists clenched, he swung hard. Chaos erupted. Fights broke out everywhere. The guards tried to step in, but they were quickly overpowered. One smart prisoner managed to slam the emergency alarm button. The warden, startled, sprinted over in his little anxious steps. He took one look at the mess and nearly fainted. Not knowing what fresh madness had taken over his inmates, he panicked and ordered all doors to be locked down. But he had no clue. This was all just a distraction. The prisoners had already used food trays and foil to block the cameras and windows. Every second of confusion was buying precious time for Whitehair. While the prison was losing its mind, Whitehair and his partner made their way through the tunnel to a cargo storage area. No one was around. They grabbed a wooden crate and bolted it underneath a delivery truck, then climbed inside. The truck left for a gas station, completely unaware it was carrying 2 escapees. Even the security guards, with their reflective mirrors, missed them. Once the coast was clear, the pair slipped out from under the vehicle, stole a parked sports car, and vanished. A flawless escape. But that was only the beginning. Now free, the duo launched phase 2 of their plan. They caught a pound of cockroaches, split them into 3 groups, and painted each group a different color. Then they released them into different underground pipes near a bank's cash vault delivery system. Why? Simple. To track which pipe led directly into the vault. To gain access inside, they sent a cake to the vault supervisor, pretending it was from a secret admirer. The chubby manager grinned ear to ear, completely flattered, and quickly shared the treat with his coworkers. But before he could even enjoy 2 bites, a cop came in with bad news. His car had been crashed. Furious, he stormed out to file a report. By the time he returned, the bank was closed for the day. The uneaten cake sat quietly in the locked vault. The next morning, when he came back, he screamed. There were bright pink cockroaches crawling all over the cake. He had no choice but to call pest control. Enter Whitehair's crew. Disguised as exterminators, they were granted access inside the bank. Their true mission? Check the roach colors and trace the path to the cash vault. The final step came during the city's big festival. Whitehair had a team sabotage a nearby signal tower, knocking out all digital payment systems. Now, people had no choice but to use cash. Huge amounts of money flowed straight into the vault via the now identified pipeline. All that was left? Disable the vault's alarm system. Whitehair stepped up. He took out 2 bleach pens, gummy bears, and poured a special liquid into a plastic container. After mixing it with the bleach and gummy bears, he created a makeshift chemical bomb. His teammates stared in disbelief. This wasn't prison ingenuity. This was mad science. To prove it would work, Whitehair casually pulled out a piece of chalk and started scribbling formulas on the wall like a chemistry professor. His friends' jaws dropped. They couldn't tell if they were watching a con man or Einstein. Then, the bomb was dropped into the pipe. Nothing happened. As they leaned in to inspect, the bomb shot back through the pipe, landing right on Curly's chest. He froze, didn't even breathe. Whitehair carefully removed the bomb, made a few quick adjustments, and sent it back. This time, boom, the vault's alarm was disabled. His team turned on a giant suction machine and began vacuuming stacks of cash through the pipe, one by one. It was glorious. They were howling with excitement, like hyenas finding a feast. But trouble was brewing. The smoke from the explosion drifted through the pipes and reached the front desk. The receptionist, terrified, called it in. The bank, however, shrugged it off, just sent 2 lazy guards to check. And what did they find? A couple of guys wheeling away heavy bags. The guards, clueless, asked a few questions, assumed it was just trash, and let them go. Later, when they did try to investigate, they blamed the smoke on a stoner employee who had been paid off by Whitehair. With that, the final phase of the plan was in motion. Whitehair and One Arm just needed to get back to prison before anyone suspected them. Their sentences were almost up. Getting caught now would ruin everything. Back in the prison, the bald man checked the TV clock. It was time. One of his crew grabbed a pencil off a guard, took out the graphite, wrapped it in tissue, and shoved it into a socket. A flash, smoke, fire. He tossed the flaming tissue into a trash bin, triggering the smoke alarm. The warden, losing his mind at this point, called the fire department. Whitehair and his buddy, already in disguise, blended in with the firefighters as they stormed in. Amidst the chaos, they quietly slipped back to their cells. Whitehair even complained to the nurse, "She locked me in without food for a whole day." Classic misdirection. And just like that, they were back in place, innocent as ever, no one the wiser. Just 2 inmates doing their time. But in reality, they had pulled off one of the greatest heists of all time, right under everyone's nose. Let me know if you'd like a short YouTube title and thumbnail caption for this too.